Have I balanced it? Am I in focus? I don't even know anymore. I think ring lights have 2 settings, off and goodbye retinas. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well. My name is Hannah and I don't know why I just told you my name. I haven't told you my name in a long time. Hello, I'm Hannah. How are you doing? Let's sit and have a chat. I'm doing a video that is not an unboxing video. I have been watching a lot of Colin Clark recently. He's a friend over on YouTube. Obviously, I will link him in the description below. So Colin recently did a video called A Writer's Life for Me tag. And that sounds like fun. And I haven't done a tag in a really long time. I think I got into a bit of a rut doing them quite a while ago, but I was mostly doing booktube tags rather than Authortube tags. So this feels a little bit different and I'm gonna do it because I want to. I don't know who created this tag, but I will find out and I will put it in the description below. There are 10 questions to this tag, as there so often are. And the first question is, what kind of writer are you? And this is an interesting question because it's really broad and I don't really know how to answer it. Do you mean what genre do I write? Do you mean how do I write? I don't know. So I mostly write thrillers and horror, and sometimes a little dabble of sci-fi, kind of dabbling in sci-fi too. Pretty much anything dark and twisted is where I am most happy. So I think that is the kind of writer that I am. I am also the kind of writer who wishes that she wrote consistently every day, but she doesn't and she never has done, and I will continue trying to build that habit, but you know, maybe one day it will work. Until then I will just write whenever the mood takes me, and an awful lot in one go. Second question is, when did you start writing and what made you want to try it? So I wrote a silly little story when I was very, very young, but kind of never really picked it up again. And then I didn't restart writing. Sure, English. I didn't start again until I had graduated university and had a bit more time. I basically just felt compelled to do it. Largely because actually my cousin writes a lot. I'll stick his website in the description if you're into dark fantasy, check him out. Yeah, so Sean writes a lot, and I kind of just thought, it looks like he's having a great time doing it, and I want to give it a go, so I did. No deep and meaningful reason, unfortunately. The third question is, what inspires your stories? Gosh, these are really deep questions. What inspires my stories? I would say that I'm largely inspired by people. I think that's probably an answer that most people will give. I thoroughly enjoy people watching. I love watching people's reactions to things, especially when they're slightly out of whack or not quite how I would react to things. I also am, again, as probably quite a lot of authors are, very inspired by the darker elements of people's personalities, like what it takes to just tip people over the edge, to just do that thing that they never thought they would do. So yeah, a little bit of psychology, I suppose. Not that I am by any means qualified to make that statement, but you know, the darker side to people. I also tend to draw a lot of inspiration from weird little things that I see. So One Road In, my most recent novel, that whole thing was born out of me sitting on the beach and watching some kids push a red canoe out into the channel. And then the whole of One Road In just came from that one scene. So I don't really know, I just take inspiration from things around me and from people. Number 4 is, what themes do you explore in your writing? I think I kind of sort of covered that in number 3, but hey ho, themes. Family come up quite a lot. The like darker elements of personality, that I quite enjoy looking at. Yeah, general relationships, I think. I think one of my favourite relationships to write so far actually was between siblings, again in One Road In. I just, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed writing 2 characters like bouncing off of each other. I enjoy that. Number 5, are you a plotter, a pantser or a plantster? I am a plantser. Plantser? Sounds like a reindeer. I am a plantser, desperately trying to be a plotter, but failing. I do plan stuff. I tend to go off plan quite a lot and then have to rein it back in. But I also quite enjoy letting myself go off plan, as long as I can kind of rein it back in the editing phase if I need to, or I just revise the plan because plans are not made of cement. Number 6, where are you in your writing journey? So I have published 2 novels and 2 short stories in a collection. I don't want to, you know, do the whole pushing my books on you, but if you're interested in them, I'll leave them in the description below. Number 47 was my first book, and that is kind of similar in feel to Gone Girl, that kind of era of thriller. I very much enjoyed writing it. It's very, very stripped down and very bare, but deliberately. One Road In is kind of the opposite of that, so it's full of characters and full of stuff going on and leans a little bit more into the supernatural side of thrillers, with a bit of horror in there, and it's about missing people kind of coming back unexpectedly and then how other people react to them just reappearing. And my 2 short stories are in a collection I did with 9 other awesome indie authors that I met through YouTube, and that is called A Season of Darkness, and I will leave that down here somewhere. Number 7, have you entered any writing contests? Did you win any? I have entered a grand total of 1 writing contests, and I won it. And I've never really entered any others since then. So it's an old website called Inkit. One of the first things I wrote and really properly sat down and thought about was a sci-fi that I've spoken about very briefly on this channel before and may or may not be considering revisiting as a YA piece, but essentially it was like an eco sci-fi dystopia thing about the earth eating people when they became not useful anymore. I don't know. It felt like a really good idea at the time, and I entered that into the Terry Pratchett Inkit competition. It was just after Terry Pratchett sadly passed away, and I won it. And to be honest, it was kind of that energy and that positivity and that boost of confidence that competition gave me that pushed me on to continue writing. So I definitely recommend competitions. I just am never organised enough to enter them. Number 8, who are your writing heroes? If you've watched any of my other videos on writing or reading, you may already know the answer to this one. Neil Gaiman, pretty easy answer. Feels like a lazy answer now, but it's really not. I adore Gaiman's writing and his imagination, and I'm very jealous of it. Margaret Atwood, again, just not that niche, you know? she's known for a reason. Her writing is incredible. Handmaid's Tale was one of the first sort of serious adult novels that I really fell in love with. So Margaret Atwood for sure. I wouldn't necessarily say they're a hero of mine, but another author I would absolutely... Actually, there's another 2 authors I would absolutely love to meet would be Tade Thompson, who wrote Rosewood? No, Rosewater. His imagination is incredible, and also he went to my university, so that's cool. And also C.J. Tudor. I have adored everything that she has published. Yeah. And she's one of the first thriller authors I read that really kind of brought in that horror supernatural element, and it worked. Number 9, have you ever been to a writing conference? No, I have not. I would like to. I would definitely like to. I don't honestly really know of that many of them. Not indie ones anyway. I know of like Y Festival and all the big ones in the UK, and obviously the even bigger ones in the US that I have no means to attend. But yeah, if I was to go to one, I would want to go to either a sci-fi horror specific one or an indie one. So I need to do some research into that and add that to 2022 stuff to do. And finally, number 10, what are your 3 writing tips? I'm not particularly very good at giving advice, so take these with a grain of salt. But I suppose tip number 1, if you're feeling stuck or feeling like you're in a bit of a rut, or like you've not had the energy to write, or that you're getting to the end of the day because, you know, a lot of us are still working from home, you've been staring at a laptop all day, you're kind of sick of it, you're kind of done looking at the laptop, pick up a pen, do some writing by hand. I'm giving this advice really enthusiastically. Having said that, I have not actually followed this advice, and I am going to follow this advice because I haven't written by hand in ages. But I wrote a lot of a project by hand last year, I think it was now, and it really, really helped just unblock the writer's block. Tip number 2, just get to the end of whatever you're working on. Yeah, get to the end. Don't don't edit as you go, she says. Definitely having done that. But don't get stuck on editing as you go. Just focus on finishing, because if you don't push yourself to finish, you're just not going to. And my third tip, which I feel like people are just going to know I'm going to say this, so it's maybe a bit old, but give yourself deadlines. If there is one thing that really, really helps me, it's giving myself loud deadlines, telling everyone about them, and then I have to hold myself accountable to them. It didn't actually work that well for One Road In, because there was so many more moving parts in publishing that novel, but for number 47, I hadn't even finished the novel, and I told everyone the release date, which, you know, if that doesn't work for you, don't do it. But it really, really worked for me. I just needed the rocket up my butt to just get it done. And I think that that's just how I am. I just need that impending doom of a really unachievable deadline to just get stuff done. Having said that, don't compromise quality in order to meet a deadline. If you think that you're not going to meet a deadline because you're genuinely worried about the quality and the integrity of what you're doing, trust your gut and push back that deadline. So I just completely contradicted that advice, but yeah, I'll follow it anyway. So those are the 10 questions. This was a really good tag, actually. I don't tend to tag people at the end of these videos, so if you've watched this and you feel like doing the tag, just go ahead and do it, and let me know you've done it so I can come and watch it. So that is everything for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you at some point in the future with another video. That won't be an unboxing. Bye!